Let us continue with this merciless crusade against these worthless mutants and their nasty owners. I really don't have a topic on this video. I just had a strong urge to hit record and talk because once again, I am infuriated. Now, all of the celebrities that you see on your screen right now contracted Lyme disease. And it just so happens that every one of these celebrities are dog lovers. What a coincidence. Lyme disease, not a disease that you want to deal with. When you see a dog infected with Lyme disease to a severe degree, it is very unsightly. But all it takes is one tick. And somehow these people contracted Lyme disease. It's no joke. As I said before, you need to view dog lovers as a disease-ridden people who have a wide variety of infections due to a wide variety of bacteria, viruses, right? Zoonotic diseases. And you need to, for the rest of your life, practice social distancing when you deal with these people. Now, all of these celebrities contracted psoriasis. And psoriasis is present among dogs. And it just so happens all of these celebrities are dog lovers. Right? There is no denying reality. And when you look at the physical appearance of dog lovers, on average, they tend to have more problems with their physical body. They tend to always be congested, right? Sounds like their noses are plugged. They're always coughing. They are very disease-ridden people. Campylobacter, a disease that they get through physical contact with contaminated feces. And you got to wonder, are these people actually touching the excrement from their mutt? Or are they inhaling enough through the dander to become infected? Right? You have to consider the possibility that there are many aspects of zoonotic diseases in regard to dogs and dog owners that they do not tell the public, because it would turn dog lovers off to the point where they would lose a lot of money. A lot of people would refuse to purchase dogs. Many would give their dogs away. Scabies infects about 1 million people in the United States each year. And this is a very disgusting disease, skin infection, where scabies mites burrow holes into your skin, and they lay eggs, they lay feces, and they multiply right there in your skin. It's disgusting. And this is a condition that runs rampant in dogs. You have to consider the fact that dogs are always outside on the ground, always eating feces, rolling around in feces and urine, lapping up. These are bottom feeders, the most disgusting type of creature you can have in any environment. Psoriasis infects about 6.7 million people in the United States each year. Right? These are several different types of diseases. It is undeniable that several of these infections, probably the vast majority, come from their dog. Salmonella, about 40,000 cases each year. MRSA, a very debilitating type of staph infection, infects about 1.2 million people each year. These people are highly infected, highly disgusting, and you need to avoid physical contact with these people at all costs. Stay away from them. And all you mutt lovers, I want you to know you are nasty. All of you are disgusting, and we are going to examine you over the course of several videos for as long as I have this channel. Because like I said, 3 out of every 4 new diseases in humans are zoonotic. And I firmly believe that most of them come from your nasty interactions with these disgusting mutants. Coronavirus restrictions lead to increase in dog bites is the title of this article. Now the first sentence says, apparently some dogs do miss their alone time. So as you see right away, they try to create a defense for dogs, right? They want to set the tone right away that these attacks are not because dogs are predators, dogs are violent, dogs are dogs, but because dogs are stressed out and they miss their alone time. Says the beloved Rovers and Maxes of the world aren't immune to the stresses of the pandemic. There you go. Trying to blame dog attacks on stress. And why is it that dogs are so stressed? It's because they're mutants. Other animals are not having psychological issues, anxiety, stress. Any and everything is said to stress dogs out. And we're supposed to tolerate and accept this retard behavior. It says one of the issues is that children, here they go, their favorite group to blame is children. And right off the bat, they want to bring up children. One of the issues is that children, and adults for that matter, now adults is an afterthought, you can tell by the way it's worded, are home more. And as a result, there's an increase in stress for the animals trying to cope. Trying to cope with what? With humans inside the home? How is it that these stupid mutants are not aware that humans live inside the home that allowed them to live inside the home? It's humans that brought these creatures inside. Suddenly, all of a sudden, they're stressed because humans are inside the home? Makes no sense, because these people are bending over backwards trying to create a defense for these mutants. These creatures are a threat. They are dangerous, out of control creatures that will attack for any and everything and for nothing at all. This is always the narrative as well in these reports of dog attacks. That is not the dog's fault. The dog is the victim. Even though it attacks you, the dog is the victim. These people make me sick to my stomach. And you are not going to continue to get away with this type of nonsense. For too long, these retards have gone unchecked and been able to make absurd statements like this at will. It says while more time at home has meant more interactions with pets, naturally increasing the chances of a bite, off-leash walking has also played a role in there being more bites. So more interactions with dogs inside the home stresses the dog out. And also dogs outside the home that break free from a leash leads to more dog attacks. So what's the excuse when the dog is outside? It's not inside of a home with a bunch of other people stressed out as they say it is. Now it's in the free world. What's the excuse now? There is no excuse. The real truth is that these are dangerous animals. It is the dogs themselves that is a threat that is prone to violence and aggression. These are not man's best friend we're talking about. These are not the most loving creatures in society we're talking about. We are talking about the number one enemy in regard to the animal kingdom, the number one enemy of humans, and especially children, being what they are, dogs. I thought these were the best friends of children. People are so stupid with this dog love culture that their own ideologies are constantly contradicted by reality. And they continue, in the face of all that, to push this stupid narrative of dogs being angels sent from heaven. That these are the creatures that humans don't deserve. It says, while exercising your animals is excellent for their physical and mental health, it is imperative that people leash their dogs everywhere except designated off-leash dog parks. Off-leash dogs are a huge source of problems, including bites. Again, this is man's best friend we're talking about. This is the most loving creature in society we're talking about. These are the creatures who these dog nuts say that if humans were more like these creatures, the world would be a better place. Again, you will no longer get away with spewing this type of rhetoric, this nonsense. It's not going to pass the smell test. This is not man's best friend. These idiots are forced by reality to admit that you need to keep these things on a leash. You have to constantly detain them. Why? Because they are dangerous, because they are violent, because they are the number one enemy of humans. They are the most violent creatures in our society. They are the last creatures that we need to pamper and protect. They are the first creatures that we should exterminate. It says it's also important to have your children respect an animal's space. For that matter, adults too respect an animal's space. How about that mutt just gets out of our homes and out of our communities, out of our society? Go to a shelter, refuse to purchase them, and eventually they will be euthanized. That should be the goal. The home is the child's environment, not the dog's. It is the dog that needs to respect our space, our homes. The community is our children's territory, not the dog's. Children have the right to be children. Their freedoms should not be removed or restricted for these brainless, ugly, freeloading, worthless mutants. So they go on to talk about how adoption has increased during this pandemic. They point out that before the pandemic, dogs would be adopted within about 4 days after posting photos of the dogs on social media. Now the dogs will be adopted within about 2 days. So the more dogs that get adopted, the more attacks those dogs wage against children, because dogs are a threat. They are violent, and they deserve to be systematically exterminated by the government, by the rules, by the laws. I am not telling people to break the law, but this should be something that our government carries out, because the truth of the threat is that obvious. Minneapolis, Minnesota reported an increase in dog attacks during this lockdown, this pandemic, and they ordered all dogs to be leashed. According to Minneapolis Animal Care and Control, in March of last year, 2019, there were 25 reports of dog bites or aggression. In March of this year, during lockdown, 45 reports, an 80% increase as a result of humans being home more often. And they want to say, oh, well, it's stressed. The dog is stressed because people are in the home. Freaking idiots. Sacramento, California also reported an increase in dog bites. It says coronavirus could indirectly lead to increased dog bites for letter carriers. When kids rush out the door to see a mailman, a household dog often follows behind, leaving the carrier vulnerable to a dog attack. Once again, nothing provokes the dog. There is no stressor. Dogs see someone and they want to attack them. That is the first type of creatures you want to exterminate and remove from society. They admit that these things are not provoked. They attack for no reason at all. The dog's presence, anywhere it is a threat. It signals danger. And they want to tell us that these are the most loving creatures in society on God's green earth. We need to be more like dogs. We don't deserve dogs. These people have the trashiest, lowest IQ possible for a human being. And that is why they spew this type of nonsense. These are utterly, dangerously stupid people. And they need to be put in check by the intelligent people. I'm sick of seeing the intelligent people in society bowing down to this type of stupidity. Denver, Colorado also reported an increase in dog attacks. It says dog bites have tripled in the city and the county of Denver during this pandemic. With kids home from school due to pandemic-related closures, the Los Angeles County Department of Animal Care and Control has seen an alarming increase in the reporting of dog bites to children. So Los Angeles as well. And I'm quite sure this is a pattern all across the country, in every single state, every single city. This article tries to give advice to parents. And this was written by some woman with the Los Angeles County Department of Animal Care and Control. It says to minimize the chances of a child being bitten by a family pet, the Department of Animal Control suggests that parents create a quiet place for dogs to retreat, where children, here we go again, will not disturb the dog, as a house always full of children may be exhausting for the dog. Here you go with another statement that makes absolutely no sense. The presence of children exhausts the dog. Get out of here with that nonsense. You know what that tells you? It tells you that mutt does not belong in our homes or in our society. That's what that tells you. It does not tell you that there's something wrong with children. There's something wrong with those mutants. It says realize that small children often have not developed skills to recognize signs of stress or danger from animals, and they should be monitored while interacting with pets. In other words, you have to sit there and stare at the dogs nonstop. Get out of here. It says be especially protective of older pets who may have arthritis, causing pain when children hug them or pet them too hard, or may have hearing or vision. She's bending over backwards, trying to create reasons that dogs attack children. And this is all nonsense. We have the reports to confirm that these mutts attack kids most often unprovoked. So stop with the lies. It says stop children from interfering with animals while they eat. She is just constantly trying to hammer it home that it's the children who bring the attack onto themselves. It says do not allow children to climb on dogs, pull their ears, tug their tails, play with their mouths, or engage in any behavior that may aggravate the dogs. She says, quote, this disgusting woman says, quote, most pets are well-adjusted family members and live harmoniously with their families. However, even the best pet may lash out if they are excessively harassed or challenged. This woman, Marcia Mayetta of the Los Angeles Animal Control, disgusting. I went to her Instagram and she is a bona fide dog nut. Her Instagram full of mutts. Her most recent photo says, quote, the kids are practicing social distancing at work. Yet another childless, child-hating, dog-loving weirdo. Sick, disgusting weirdo. And as usual, she suggests that most attacks are the result of children harassing the dogs, children being evil, misbehaving, challenging dogs, provoking them in some way. So you have to restrict the child's movements so that they don't bring an attack onto themselves, because the house is for the dog, not the child. Right? The children can't play as they would naturally because this is the dog's home. They have to play according to the dog's rules and what the dog will and will not accept. We cannot allow these disgusting people to get away with these types of statements. You know, you might hear that they are a member of animal control and you give them respect. You think they have authority to make these types of statements. They do not. This is sick. Virtually every article that covers a dog attack on a child says that it was unprovoked. And they want to feed us this mantra. The dogs simply retaliate. They get fed up with being harassed. When we have the reports on hand to prove that that is a lie. Not even the articles that report dog attacks confirm this stupid theory. These children are being attacked more because the dog is a threat, because they are violent and they should not be in our society at all. The threat is the dog itself. The real cause has nothing to do with kids. It has to do with reckless endangerment, child endangerment, adults placing children in unreasonably dangerous situations by having a brainless, mutated rat inside the home. This scenario really does highlight the intelligence of other governments that carry out dog culling in their communities, that exterminate dogs. Because only a morally corrupt group of people would praise the existence of a creature that primarily attacks those people's children. And those same adults respond to those attacks by blaming the children themselves. Very sick group of people. We're laying it all out. There is no more deception. Right? We have your number. These are very sick people with devilish tactics. These are criminals based on the very standards of reckless endangerment. Dogs attack children because dogs are predators, violent predators. They are designed to attack and kill. When they attack or kill children, you do not blame the children themselves. You're not allowed to do that. You idiots. You are to blame. Every last one of you, adults, dog nuts, should be arrested. And your children should be taken into protective custody.